What's the most intriguing quarterback battle in the league? Dan, I'll start with you with the most obvious one.
Yeah, I'm taking the obvious one, which is the Browns. You know, before the NFL draft, I said the player that I was most interested in seeing what happened was Johnny Manziel, just because, I mean, I'm a sucker for the easy ESPN storylines. And here it is again. He's got, I think, the top selling jersey in the NFL, right? And, you know, this is for a guy who theoretically is the number 2 quarterback on the chart. I think he started offseason as the number 3 quarterback, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Is that right?
I think so.
Was he that buried?
I think they theoretically called him the number 3.
That's
you know,
just
I mean, whatever. I think he was. I mean,
yeah, okay, fair.
But, you know, obviously, the number 1 jersey, people have an intense amount of interest in this kid, and he hasn't done anything to try to tamper that interest down by, you know, what he's done this offseason, going all over the place. I don't really like passing moral judgments on people that I don't know based on photographs on social media sites, but I will say that stuff like that kind of gets me interested in them, and I'm curious to see when he takes over the starting job, because I don't think there's any doubt he's going to at some point this year. I'm curious when it happens, how he performs, whether he can stay healthy, whether the size is an issue, whether his teammates kind of rally behind him, whether he has a spectacular debut the way RG3 did. I think all of these things are fascinating. And, you know, Brian Hoyer, nice guy, I guess. I'm not particularly
played decent last year.
Interested in him, but I mean, the interplay between the two of them sure interests me. So,
all right, so Cleveland, give me yours, Keith.
I'm going to take the Jets. I think the Cleveland storyline is interesting and intriguing only to the degree that Hoyer keeps a job. Whether it's 4 games or 8 games, at some point Manziel's going to start, and he may start for the rest of his career, or he may flame out. That point will be interesting. But as far as most intriguing quarterback battle, I don't think it's much of a battle, except Cleveland's trying to, you know, to present it as such, but I don't think it can be one for very long. Of the Jets, on the other hand, Geno Smith, who the Jets just invested a high second-round pick in last season. They bring in Michael Vick, someone who has the ceiling of, you know, MVP level player. He was great in 2010 with the Eagles. He had great years with the Falcons, and then also has this floor of he may turn the ball over a lot. He may only start a few games for you before he gets hurt. So there's this great range of what Vick could bring to the Jets, and if they decide to go that route, they basically are giving up or stunting the growth of a quarterback they just spent a high draft pick on last season. So I think there's a lot at stake for the Jets.
Who starts week 1?
I guess Vick. Why would you bring a guy in if you don't?
Hoyer in Cleveland, we think?
I would say for week 1, Hoyer will start.
Week 1. All right, Jason, what's your quarterback matchup you're intrigued by?
You know, I'm going to go with the Vikings with Teddy Bridgewater and my fellow Chatsworth High and USC alum Matt Castle. I mean, you know, you would think that Bridgewater, you draft a young quarterback in this league these days. It's not like it was years ago where you let him take some time to learn. You got to throw him out there. You're paying him so much money. So, I mean, I'm curious to see, you know, Castle had that big year when Tom Brady was hurt, got paid off of it. He's not that type of guy. But, you know, does he have enough to hold off this kid who, again, they keep drafting these quarterbacks in Minnesota hoping the next one will be the face of the organization. So that's the one that interests me.
Week 1, who starts in Minnesota?
I think Bridgewater.
Yeah? Yeah, throw him in. All right, we'll see.
Can I say one other quarterback? This is not a quarterback battle at all, but one of the quarterbacks maybe I'm most intrigued about in the NFL is Nick Foles, because certainly and I think no one else expected last year to happen, but that was a historically amazing season. And I mean, how close can you come to replicating that? I've got an Eagles expert to my right here. But.
Well, and a reasonable expectation would probably be for, you know, he can't do 27 touchdowns and 2 interceptions again. There's going to be some interceptions, there'll be some mistakes, but that's what, if he plays within that system that Chip Kelly has.
But missing Deshaun Jackson, how big a factor is that?
Yeah. The real question would be, and I know he'd like to talk with Eagles all day, is now that NFL defensive coordinators have a whole year of film on that, does that offense run as well as it did last year?
That's right, the Chip Kelly offense. That'll be interesting.